additive relationships. So you have the independent, again, it's X, dry, mix. So independent is X. And then you have the dependent, which is the Y. So we're going to find a relationship between the independent with the dependent, and it's through addition. That's why it's additive. Additive is another word for addition. So before we do that, let's practice what we learned in before lesson of multiple representation of using tables, equations, and graph, which all means the exact same thing. One water filter will clean 40 gallons of water. Write an equation to determine G, the total number of gallons cleaned by any number of filters. So first of all, let's make a table to show the relationship between the number of filters F and the total number of gallons G. So what number would you like to use for filter? Well, let's look at our graph. According to our graph, it goes from 0 to 4. So the independent, which is the x-axis, goes from 0 to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, fine, I'll put a 4. Even though the table did not include it, I'll add a 4th. So let's think. If I use 0 water filter, I can make 0 water. If I have 1 water filter, I can make 40 gallons. 2 will be 80, 3 will be 120, 4 will be 160. So what is the relationship from the independent to the dependent, or from F to G? It is times 40. So how would you say that using the letter F? I would say 40F. And it's equal to what? The gallon. So the G is equal to 40F. I have some students who do this one, which is not really wrong. So some students do this one. So they like using X and Y, which is good. So they use 40X is equal to Y. But make sure you substitute the variable letters with the letters they gave you, that they provided. So X will be substituted with F, Y will be substituted with G. So to find a number of gallons, you have to multiply 40 by the number of filters. So now graph the ordered pair. So 0 is 0. 1 water filter will use 40 gallon. 2 will use 80. 3 will use 120. 4 will use 160. Describe the graph. The graph is increasing. A couple ways you can say this. You can say it is increasing. Another way you can say it is as there's 40 gallons per filter. So every filter there's 40 gallons. That's another way to say it. Now identify the independent and dependent quantities. So in science you learn something called dry mix. So independent is the x-axis. So the x-axis is about filters. And what numbers did we use here? We use 1, 2, 3, and 4. The dependent is the y-axis, which is about gallons. Which numbers did we use? We used 0, 40, 80, 120, 160. So dependent, independent. So as you could tell, for the past week, we've been talking about 4 things: dependent, independent, finding a relationship, and writing it with a variable or letter. Then turning it and setting up as an expression without an equal sign, or as an equation with an equal sign. So now let's get to our today's lesson. I will have to calibrate this. Additive relationship compared to independent, dependent using addition. So today we're focusing nothing with addition, like x plus something. So Janine has a $10 check she received from her brother for her birthday and some money in her bank account. So she has money in her bank account, and then she got an extra $10. Good for her. She has the money. Wait, just a $10 for her birthday? That's a cheap brother. She has the money to make a purchase of $10 more than the amount in her bank account. The graph shows the amount in her bank account and the amount she can spend. So let's look at a graph. So she has $20 in her bank account, but then she really does have $30 because her brother just gave her $10. She has $40 in her bank account, but she really has $50. And she has $50 in her bank account, but she really has $60. Make a table to show the relationship between the total amount Y Janine can spend and the X she has in her bank account. So let's see, 20 and 30. She has 30 and 40, 40 and 50, and 50 and 60. before I continue, even though it hasn't asked it yet, but I know what's going to ask. What is the relationship between the independent with the dependent? We have x to y. The relationship seems like it's plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. Because remember, her brother gave her a $10 check. So if this is x and this is y, so how would you say it with the letter x? So your independent is represented with the letter x. So you're adding 10 to the x, and it's going to equal y, the amount total amount she has. So this is the equation. The expression is just x plus 10, but if we want to set up as an equation, we have to add an equal sign, equal y. Let's see, I'm wondering if they asked us that. Oh, write an equation. So we did it. Y equal x plus 10. Explain the relationship. So I'm going to explain it. So to find the total amount she has to, you add $10 to her checking account. That's how much money she has. So depending on how much she has in her checking account, she always has to add $10 extra to it as a cushion. All right, so last question. This is another question. The graph shows the total amount Raymond earns given how much he earns washing car. So looking at this one, the independent, or the x one, is amount earned, so we have to create a table. And this is the total amount. So amount earned is $4, and the total amount he earns washing car will be 7. This will be a 5, becomes an 8. This becomes a 6, becomes a 9. So before they even ask us, I know what they're going to ask us. What's the relationship here? This number is additive, so I know it's going to be plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. What are you adding 3 to? What do you want to label this? What variable? X and y. So we're adding 3 to x, and it's going to equal y. So make a table. We already did it. Write an equation. So y equal x plus 3. Could you have written x plus 3 equal y? There's nothing wrong with that one. Flip it around. And now explain the relationship. It's increasing. Another way you say is the amount he earns, you have to add a $3 to find out how much his total amount earned. So that's another way to say it. So what we learned today is additive relationship. An additive relationship, you're adding something to x, or the independent variable. And so it's set up in the equation as y equal x plus a. Like a is the missing number. You're adding something to x. Okay, this is it. Thank you.